The Tangent 8 podcast is aimed at a mature audience. It contains themes that are not appropriate for all listeners. It's important to note that we are not experts. We routinely have no idea what we're talking about and are just three idiots sitting around a table. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Tangent Podcast. I'm Seth, and as always with me are Swoosh and John Doe.
Hi!
Hello!
And we thought we'd start out this week for once with some good news.
It's really good news as well. I love it.
The Halo TV show has been cancelled.
Yay!
It's good news determining on your taste in television. If you've got really shitty taste, it's, oh no! Everyone else
I was
is like,
wondering why I was like
fuck.
halfway through the workday. I was like halfway through the workday and suddenly everyone like that appeared in my vision. Like, ooh, what happened? Oh, God.
That show was not good. I will admit, they made some solid course correction in that second season, but it was not enough, and it was way too late.
What was
It
it?
should
They made
never
a
have
solid
started
course
so
correction
far
in the
off
first
course.
half of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It started like, the course correction was at the start of the second season, and then they went straight back to it. Like an abusive ex. It's like, oh no, I've changed, I swear. And then straight back into the flogging. It was just, nope, don't like.
The second season was dodging the iceberg after they'd already ran over it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah.
That's bad.
Like, it sucks
But-
that there's so many people out of a job now, but no doubt they'll find other fucking things to do. But really, there have been so many better things done with that fucking franchise.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's an awful lot of people who are like, just gonna not put that on my CV.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was looking after a sick parent the whole time.
Yeah.
That's why there's a gap in my work history.
I-
Not that I worked on Halo.
I
The
almost
Halo
feel
is that a
bad for the
grandparent
main
passed
guy.
away and...
Oh, God. I kind of feel sorry for the main character at certain points, but he doubled down on taking the helmet off, and it's like, nah, man, I'm not in your corner anymore. Like, sorry.
Again, I watched that second season. They did come up with better reasons for him to not have the helmet on.
Yeah.
But it's just like, if you'd done this in the first season, you probably would have gotten a lot more people over the line.
Yeah.
But instead, you decided to be a prick about it, not do anything interesting for like you taking his helmet off. And
Look,
and your second season's kind of just like I said, a lot of good course correction.
Yeah.
But it's way too little, way too late.
they fucked up too early by having him take his helmet off when someone was pointing a gun at him and trying to claim he was a soldier. I was like, I don't know any soldier that would do this.
Instead
that
of
just
taking the
seems
helmet
dumb.
off, they could have done the simple thing of Iron Man in the Marvel movies and had
Yeah.
the face with a basic overlay. And, like, just had that as the black screen. It's like, okay, he's communicating. You didn't need to take the fucking thing off. Like, goddamn. Anyway, this is
but at
an
least it's
old
gone now.
argument
It can't
we've all
hurt us
fucking gone
anymore.
through. But hopefully the license for it gets picked up by someone else. I don't know, that's maybe doing the Fallout series. Or something else that works. That
The
they've
Fallout
actually
series
stuck
was
with the source
great.
material.
Yeah. If they had given the same, like, treatment that Fallout had got, it would have been a great fucking show.
Well, see, to do that, they would have had to not do something starring Chief.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And they weren't going to do that. They were always going to use Chief because he's the big poster child for the franchise. So, of course, we have to do the show around him. But, there's already a well-regarded set of games that chronicle his story.
Yeah.
There's lots of other stories you could tell. Maybe tell those.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Been fine.
they could have done like the ODST story, trying to fucking survive.
Yeah.
Or
I would have
anything.
loved the
There is
ODSTs.
a lot of shit going on in that universe. Like, they had so many options.
Honestly, I would
Yeah.
have loved the ODSTs just coming to grips with the fact that Spartans exist now and they are obsolete, more or less. Like, I would have loved that. It would have been fun.
Or trying
Yeah.
to push themselves that much harder to fucking match up and just
Yeah.
throwing themselves into it. Like,
Well,
could have been
you could
so
then
much
ramp
more.
up the, what's the thing from Warhammer, the Technological Dread? I can't remember what's the actual name for it.
What, the thing for people being bigger and scientifically enhanced over you?
Yeah.
Transhumanism dread.
Transhumanism Dread. Like, they could have ramped that shit up to, like, 11 with them. And just have every Spartan be ominously quiet and just not talk and just be a looming figure. Like, that's terrifying.
That's kind of how they're written in the actual fiction of the setting.
Yeah.
They really only talk to each other. They don't really talk to other people. They're not... Because they're so genetically superior, they can do all this stuff, and they're all these things, people find them distrustful, so they don't talk to them. So they end up being isolated.
Yeah. And that would have been fun just for the sake of, like, just normal people having to deal with, there are superhumans on the battlefield. What the fuck? Would have been a much more compelling
could have done what everyone would have, like, absolutely creamed over, is a Covenant Lower Decks.
Oh, I would
That would've
murder
been
for
amazing.
that. That would have been perfect.
That would have been, like, have that TV show running, but the events of, like, have the ODST TV show going for the more drama and more action-packed, but then have the Covenant Lower Decks to react to the events that the ODSTs and the Spartans have done to them. There's like...
Just a group of grunts narrowly avoiding the Spartans every time. Oh, that'd be perfect.
And like,
I mean, you'd probably have to make them be Singeli, though.
Oh, probably.
Well, no, you'd have to have, like, they're run by, like, one of those engineer fucking things that's just floating around that hardly says shit, just beeps at them, and they're just, fuck off and do your fucking job. And they've got a really dumb brute, or an elite who's all nose up in the air, but still has to mop the fucking floor. They could have done so much with it.
A crack addict jackal is the only thing I want to see. It's been amazing.
A crack addict, a jackal engineer who's just like, what did you do? What did you do? What did you do?
Why'd you touch it? Why would you do this?
I will fucking start
Either
you.
way,
it's gone. It can't hurt us now.
the live action one is done. We don't have to worry about it inflicting any further wounds.
The nightmare is over.
But the trauma lives on.
Yes.
Although, new Nightmare might be starting for Microsoft.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
FTC has decided is filing a case against them for the downgrade they're currently doing on Game Pass.
Yeah.
And, I mean, let's face it, the FTC is supposed to get shitty about companies when they do this sort of stuff.
It's just
Upping
weird
the
they haven't
price
done it
and
for so many
lowering
times.
the quality of the product
Yeah.
is what they're supposed to get shitty about.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
I mean, I wish it was about food prices, but, you know.
Oh, that'd be great if it was.
They got to do something, I guess. But they couldn't stop them buying Activision, so now they got to ping them for something else.
Yeah, well, but I mean, like, it is a fair thing to be shitty about. Like, it is a absolute quality downgrade with a price increase.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Though it
gonna
doesn't
raise it
affect the
$5
PC only version. It only it affects the console versions.
No, it's console only.
Yeah.
The PC one is untouched for now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem.
I think we might be getting a price increase, but like we're not getting the weird tiering changes that they did.
So in these changes, I know they removed day one access for certain tiers. You only have to have the top tier to have day one access to games. And is it a library shrinkage? Like a
So the big one is the one that they're referring to is the basic plan, which used to have your full library and all your day one content. Now that just gets you multiplayer and first party back library, so you don't get EA or Ubisoft or any of that.
Yep.
That's in the high tiers. But on PC, it's always been like that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like now, this base tier is going up in price, but you're losing so much content from it that it's like
and
it's
the day one
marked
access
downgrade in product.
Yeah. So it's no wonder
the day one access being the big one that they're talking about. Because let's face it, that's the draw card of Game Pass. Is day one, there's your game.
Yeah.
Yeah, which has always been like, okay, release on this game, play it on Game Pass. Like, and now it's like, play it on Game Pass if you spend more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Look, as much as we like Game Pass, and again, I still think it's one of the best ways that if you are trying to get into gaming or back into gaming, get a Game Pass subscription, play some stuff.
oh fuck yeah. Try some shit
See
out
if
before you
it's
actually
still
buy
the hobby
all the
you
stuff.
want to engage with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we knew they would eventually start the tiering process. I can't remember, I knew there was one episode of this we went through the whole way tiering actually functions and what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
We knew it was coming, and it's starting.
Unfortunately, capitalism infects everything over time. No one is
Yeah.
can avoid this corruption.
But they also, like, they have to do something to push people into the higher tiers to spend the money.
Yeah.
If everyone can get the same shit for the lowest tier, people only spend the least amount of money. They have to.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they have to tier it. They had to tier it at some point.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting the day one access to be reduced.
Yeah.
I was expecting
But at the
to
same
keep
time,
that as a
it's
draw
the-
card, but only have day one access for their, for the specifically Microsoft first party shit. Whereas
Yeah,
other
or
games
like
I was
the-
expecting to be a day or so later.
Like the
or
smaller
a week
Well,
indie
or-
stuff.
You
or-
don't have to have Ultimate to get day one. You just have to go up from the basic tier.
Yeah. So basic bitch
So-
tier doesn't get you a lot.
So they're only asking you to go up one tier.
Yeah.
But, how long before they're like, oh, now, can you go up 2 tiers to get
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Like, I'm
Again-
honestly not surprised the FTC is getting involved, because if they don't stamp this out early, they just go over, worse
If-
and worse, and it's like, oh, well, you let us do it once.
Well, I mean, this is the problem. It's not, yes, I'm happy the FTC stepping in. I
Yeah.
like Game Pass. I don't want it to lose its value. I think it's a cool idea. I am also a big proponent of GOG and owning games, so, I'm not always about these subscription services, but there's a certain demographic of people I think this is really good for.
Mm.
So I definitely want the FTC to step in and try and keep it that good product.
Yeah, try and keep it fair, at the very least.
But this sort of tiering stuff is so old hat at this point, I don't think this is going to go anywhere. I'm pretty sure some Microsoft lawyer is just going to walk in and go, look at all these other people who do it, get off our back.
The next change in tiering, I reckon, will be the base tier will be ad supported. They'll
Yeah.
have some sort of thing in there where you have to watch an ad or do something before you can download a game, or it'll be some sort of advertising supported, and that day one access will go up another tier. They'll need
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
to push you towards the higher and higher tier.
Look, anytime
And-
any company or any product brings ads into something I've already paid for, I'm out.
Yeah,
Like,
it's what was I know a lot of people that left Netflix because of it. Like whether they're on that basic
yeah.
tier or not, they've brought an ad supported version. Go and get fucked.
yeah. If I'm paying you money, it's to get around ads. That's the entire point of paying money, that I don't see
Yeah.
this shit. If you're then getting ads, you're double dipping, and I don't want to support your product anymore.
Yeah, it was the downfall of cable TV in Australia. And
Yeah,
it'd be the
definitely.
downfall of streaming services, whether they be for games or fucking TV or
But we
fucking
called the-
movies or anything.
Yeah, we called it early on that the second there was one streaming service for every production house, people were going to go back to the
Yeah.
high seas. But then it's just gotten worse. It's just, guys, come on, stop raising prices. There's too many of you.
Yeah.
But you don't get to do that anymore. You had your golden age, then you fucked it.
Yeah, but they think they can keep going, and
Yeah,
unfortunately, there's enough big ones that are still rolling around that all
Yeah.
the little fish think they can do it too.
but those big
Yeah.
ones are bleeding money. They're just big enough that the bleed isn't fucking lethal yet, but it's coming.
Oh yeah.
I'll-
Oh yeah.
A lot of them realized a bit too late that supporting your own streaming service is a very costly thing.
Fucking oath.
Which is why a lot of them are scaling back on what they have up there. They rotate through what information or what TV shows they have available. So it's not even on demand. You can't even just go, I want to watch Friends. It's like, all right, we've got 2 seasons of the Friends going at the moment. None of them are the starting ones. It's like,
Yeah,
What the
we've
fuck?
got season 3 and season 7.
yeah. So it's
Goddamn.
very stupid.
it's-
They're trying to preserve server space.
But it's that old Netflix joke that, hi, you've called Netflix, you've been greenlit, what's your idea?
I don't think it's actually service based that's the problem. Let's face it, storage is pretty cheap these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got to try and keep people wanting to check your service regularly.
Yeah.
So I would expect that a lot more of that's probably more like, if I can watch all, 8 seasons of Friends today,
Yeah.
well, I'm not going to log in next month. Whereas if it's like, oh, start your Friends journey this month and come back every month for the next season, they're trying to create they want you to log back in more regularly again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same kind of bullshit that infects everything eventually. It's
Yeah. So it's a retention thing. It's
yeah, and
Yeah.
it happens with everything. Hell, look at dating apps and how predatory they became, streaming services are just becoming just as predatory, where it's like, ah, cool, we'll give you just enough to make you come back, and then we might give you something more. It's like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm out.
And again, it wasn't so bad back when there was 3.
Yeah.
You could conceivably, Dan could get one, I could get one, Switch could get the other, we all share, we all get all the content. Yeah. Now it's like, which of the 15 would you like? Oh, and like 2 of them have the big stuff.
Yeah.
And you can't share a password.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's shitty about password sharing.
But that was the dumbest thing.
Like, you can see the fall of it when, like, particularly in Australia, like, Netflix had everything. And then Foxtel got the license to HBO.
Yeah.
And you could see that was going to be the start of the end. Like, okay, there's now a second one that wants to branch off with a popular thing that everyone wants to watch. Now you need 2. And the second one is fucking expensive because Foxtel is fucking trash.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Foxtel's been trash for years.
Oh, yeah.
Like, honestly,
Foxtel
the second Murdoch's company.
A normal pay TV fucking service.
Oh, absolutely. They've had ads for fucking years on that shit. But the second that Murdoch got his grubby hands on it, we knew it was the downfall was starting. Like, once Foxtel was involved in it, it's like, yeah, cool, this is dying. It's like the boomers getting a hold of Pokemon or something, and then being like, "Isn't this cool, kids? Like, you have made this so less cool, guys."
It's how you kill something popular. As soon as your parents or advertisers are involved, it is dead. No matter how much you like it, it is dead.
Look, I'm still just hoping that a bunch of organizations realize that forcing us to watch their ads before like YouTube things means we're not going to buy their product.
See, the thing is, I've seen that model done properly.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if anyone else used it. I think you guys did. I think at least Swoosh did. You guys remember Anime Lab?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That was the advertising thing done properly. What was it? Well, it was a free service, advertise supported, only advertised products on their own website. You had to watch I think it was a 30-second ad before you could watch a half hour of anime for free, which is a pretty good deal.
It's 1 second per minute. It's pretty good.
And you were only able to watch it subbed.
Yeah.
And if it was a same week release, you were a week behind.
Yeah.
You paid...
That was a good model.
You paid $10 and you got simulcast, including dubs, high definition, no ads.
Yeah.
That's how you get people into your ecosystem. That was fair.
That was great.
But,
and now fucking Crunchyroll. Holy shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Once they brought up Funimation, fucking...
And they're getting particularly lazy about their work, too.
Yeah, they really
They actually... It was recently discovered that they're working with a machine learning group to do their subtitling.
Yeah, they want AI to do subtitling. And it's bad.
Yeah, it's not great. It doesn't look like anyone's going back through the thing it creates and going, alright, we should just give it a once-over and make sure it hasn't just pure translated. It's actually put things in correct context and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It'd be like, if you were translating someone who spoke an Australian slang and, they use the word cunt. It's like, you're not going to, put up, vagina as the word. It's like, no, it's friend.
Yeah. There's context here that needs to be taken into account, but it's, I don't like their model. I, removed my subscriptions to them shortly after Funimation took over.
Not only did they do region locking of shows, I don't know if they have now. When I first looked at Crunchyroll, they had no Australian service, so it was slow as fuck.
No, they still don't.
Oh, it was horrible.
They still don't. You have to have an Asian server or a European server to watch anything with it.
Oh, God damn. So
that happens with everything, though. Every game, everything never has Australian servers, despite us being a huge fucking market.
If we're lucky, we get Eurasia.
Maybe.
Yeah. Or Oceania.
More often than not, it's just Japan.
Yeah, oh man. If the God shine upon us if we get Oceania.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I love the fact anytime there's an MMO that comes out, it's like, alright, which Japanese server are we taking by force? Oh.
This is Australian now. Fuck off.
Oh, yeah. We've done it with so many games.
Oh, yeah, we have. Well, we don't get our own ones.
Yeah.
We're not going to play on the American one. The ping's too bad.
Oh, God. I still remember back when I was playing Final Fantasy XIV, there was a dungeon that they came out and said, Australians will never be able to complete this dungeon because the ping will never allow it. And out of sheer, spite, we did.
That was a challenge accepted moment.
Yeah.
I will
It
smack my
took
head
a
against
while.
this wall until it is done.
You don't
Shit will
understand.
happen.
We were born in the lag, raised by.
We know how to account for lag.
I didn't see a ping under 500 till I was 20 years old.
Oh, God.
And that was only because then you moved out of a house that had everyone on it. It was just you.
Yeah.
Oh, I still remember the days of, the phone ringing and 3 people in the house screaming, don't answer that, because it's that would knock
yeah.
the internet off. We're mid-raid, don't touch it!
Or you were downloading a file and it was just about to finish and someone picked up a phone.
Oh.
It's like, no.
Yeah, every time.
So, speaking of downloading, Amazon is selling a no console required Xbox bundle.
Which is interesting.
It's quite simple. They've added the Game Pass app to their Fire Stick,
Yeah.
so you can access the streaming functions of Game Pass. So you can, run the cloud service stuff. So you can play all the games through the cloud. That's it. That's all they've done. They've just added that functionality. Which is not
Yeah,
surprising. Again, we've suggested that something like this would essentially happen sooner or later with the actual
I
console
actually
itself.
thought Google would have done that with their fucking Google.
Stadia.
Yeah, that one. No, not
Yeah.
Stadia.
The plugin
What is
thing
it?
they have, the Chrome Stick.
Yeah,
Oh, Chromecast.
That one.
Well, that's because the
Chromecast,
Chromecast
yeah.
doesn't actually do anything.
It really
Well,
does.
that's why I
It's
thought
more
they
of a
would have
streaming
added this
device.
functionality. Once the Stadia died off, I assumed this is what they would have done.
Well, I mean, again, if they actually had, apps and stuff on a Chromecast, as far as I understand, and I will freely admit some ignorance here, the Chromecast just mirrors stuff.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually have features.
It may have improved since I used it last, but it's been a long time since I used one. But it's also the fact that I swear Google has ADHD. It's like an ADHD with hobbies. They'll pick something up and then not be instantly great at it and turf it. Like they were doing with augmented reality at one point when they were trying to get the Google Glass going, and it's like, yep, burn it, got rid of everything, not touching it again. And other things are picking it up now. It's just they bounce between projects and dump them so quickly.
Part of the problem I think Google often has is they come up with an idea and it is genuinely, if you followed this all the way to its end point, it would be really awesome. But they come into it a little hot, a little fast, and quite often a little early. So
Yeah.
Definitely.
Google Glass was this kind of cool idea, but the way it was designed was really clunky. It kind of looked like an absolute douche if you were wearing it.
Yeah.
It wasn't ready to be in market. It was a cool idea, definitely a good idea. I'm a big proponent. A lot of people really want VR to take off into the full immersion stuff, and I'm okay with that. Don't get me wrong, but I'm much more about AR stuff, and augmented reality technology is now starting to come a long way since when Google did Google Glass. So now we're seeing companies revisit AR technology.
But
Google was
people also,
ahead and
have
was
a
in
picture in
first.
their head. They want 10th or 20th generation AR or VR when we're still in single digit generation VR. They want that future product now, but they need to
barely
get through
even
all this
hit one
bullshit
digit.
to get to that.
Yeah. The
Half of the stuff is still at 0.5 generation.
If they
It's
just kept quiet and kept working on Google's AR technology until it was actually in a more pleasing form factor and was more functional, they probably would have done much better.
it would be great. Although the second that we start getting some decent augmented reality, I am investing in pop-up blockers and ad blockers entirely. it will not be long until like you're walking along and suddenly you are just assaulted by ads.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I'd hate it.
But
Because, that's the hellscape we live in.
Yeah.
Yay!
That will be the actual true future prediction from Stray Cat Stripe. You walk in.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at a menu. Virus.
Yeah. All the malware.
Yeah.
Just give us your data.
although, what is it? LG washing machines are selling your data now.
Oh.
Why do LG washing machines have access to my data? Like, why do we
does
even have
any
things
home
like smart
appliance need
fridges?
access to
I
the
look.
fucking
I will freely
Wi-Fi?
admit I haven't read the article for it. I just saw it. It was just like, that's fucking crazy. Why the hell is that a thing?
Yeah, look, I'm already dubious about these smart fridge
Well-
things. Like, you are low on milk. Like, I know I'm low on milk. I can see I'm low on milk. Fuck off,
But
fridge.
even that goes roughly on a timer. It's not as I was looking at your milk. But
Yeah.
like we've got a fucking vacuum cleaner, an LG vacuum cleaner, and it in the as soon as you open the box up, it says connect to Wi-Fi. It's like, no, my vacuum cleaner does not need access to
Yeah.
the internet.
Why would a vacuum cleaner ever need access to the internet? What
They just want
firmware
the
are you
Internet of Things. They
updating?
want everything
it's
connected.
usage.
Yeah, true, it'll be usage. Fuck.
They want to know how long you've
And
got
that's
to
the
turn
data they want
on.
to sell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if they can,
Everything.
it wouldn't surprise me if like the washing machine. Again, I haven't read the article. It wouldn't surprise me if it's how often do you do your washing? How heavy is your load? What's your water usage like?
Yeah, like market research and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Honestly, I think if you're buying a product, there should be no no market research that you're opted in for automatically.
Yeah.
If you would like to provide this information, you have to go to their website and click the button and register yourself. They don't
And you get
take
paid
that
for it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're doing them a service. You should be paid for this.
Oh, fuck! I just had like a terrible future flash because then we're gonna end up with tiered
Just now?
appliances where you can get
Oh,
a
fuck.
washing machine for cheaper if you sell your data automatically, or you
Oh,
can
it's
spend
gonna
more
happen.
money, and they just won't admit to selling your data.
See,
The question is, which corporation will be the first to try
I
this?
did-
I'm assuming it's going to
Apple.
be Apple. Yeah.
probably
Apple,
LG.
yeah.
Probably LG.
Actually,
Yeah.
yeah.
They are the ones that are really under fire these days for having these sort of functions in their their TV actively spies on the user.
Yeah. It's fucked.
As much as I used to like LG products, it's like I'm starting to feel like I should never support this company.
Yeah.
But
A,
like,
a lot of
even,
them are like that, unfortunately.
My mother's neighbor recently got a TV, and it was a Kogan TV, but it's running the Roku software,
Yeah,
which is trash.
Oh, it really
But
is.
when he turns it on, he has to go through 3 different menus to watch live TV.
Yep.
Because
Because
there's
they're
a menu.
built for plugging into a computer now. It's like, why?
Yeah. When you turn it on, it comes up with the first, like, every time you turn it on, and you can't change this. I went through the fucking menus
Yeah.
to see if I could just default it TV. When you turn it on, it comes up with a big splash screen of Roku TV, and it has images, media, live.
Yeah.
So, okay then. So that's, like, they're the 3 things. Why the fuck is images first on a fucking TV? Like, why
Live
is
should
TV
always be the
first
first.
fucking thing?
Yeah.
You select live, and it goes news, video, and then I think it says media underneath that. So then it's the second option you got to go for media, for live, because the first one
Yeah.
brings up a splash screen of current news titles.
Yeah. Basically
Once
just
you've
connects
gone
to
through
generic
that,
web.
once you've gone into live, then you have to select live TV or live service.
Oh, fuck off.
God
And
damn.
every single one of those pages has a massive Roku TV splash screen at the top with the squares for ads
Of
of fucking
course.
shit they want to advertise.
Why are they menu gating live TV now?
For the exact
Jesus
purpose
Christ.
he just stated right at the end there. The
Yeah,
more times you have to
advertising.
go through a screen, the more ads they can show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Fucking hell.
That's why so many things, when they have information, it's some kind of list or slideshow on the internet so they can cram more ads in. That's it. That's all it's
Yeah.
about.
we are getting closer and closer to a breaking point. I swear to God, I do not look forward to the next few years.
The problem is, it'll take people to actually say, "No, I've had enough." But people are just like, "Oh, I don't mind it. I don't even look at it." That's not the point.
The shit you can get used to is insane.
Every time they toe the line, they don't cross over it. They push it, and then they toe it again, and then again, and eventually, you'll have to sit through 45 minutes of ads when you first turn your TV on.
I mean, the big apocalyptic thing, as far as ads are concerned, that I'm waiting for is we have to access your camera so we can tell if you're looking at the screen while the ad runs.
Oh, if that
Sony's already fucking patented.
Up.
Yeah,
they patented it. We're not going to use it. So we're never going to use it. You don't patent something unless you intend to use it. There's no point in doing it otherwise. It's diabolical.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting for that to happen. I swear these guys watched Black Mirror and thought, ooh, that's an idea, let's do that. This was meant to be a parody of Dark Futures, guys, not a fucking checklist. Because there's that one where the guy has to, ride on a bike most of his day. He goes back to his room, and the entire room's like, you have to watch an ad now. So he closes his eyes and starts blaring alarms at him. He's like, you must watch the ad. It's like, no. Why?
Yeah.
If that happens, we just disappear into the woods. We'll be done.
Definitely feels like that.
You know how, in the sci-fi, futures, there's always those weird savages out in the Badlands, and everyone's like, why do these people exist? Because there's no ads in the Badlands.
Yeah.
No post on Sundays.
Right up until they start printing ads on deer.
They'll start airdropping flyers on us like it's World War II.
No. I would absolutely believe exactly what John Doe just said. You'd be wandering through the forest with your rifle ready to shoot a deer, and then for some reason it walks out, sponsored by State Farm.
You would be doing
Pepperidge
this
Farm
if you had
just has a
John
bunch
Deere.
of old men. Yes. Pepperidge Farm just has a bunch of old men in covered wagons going around the country. It's like, do you remember when there used to be real advertising? Pepperidge Farm remembers. God damn, I don't look forward to that future. Capitalism is slowly killing us, but there's nothing that we can think of that's better that will work.
Certainly nothing that we could actually get over the line.
Well, the problem with a lot of things is humanity is greedy as fuck. Human greed. Socialism, communism, they're fine on paper, but the second you have one person who wants more than the person next to him, the system falls apart.
I mean, socialism's probably the best one.
Oh, definitely.
Because it creates safeguards for the people at the bottom. It doesn't stop them being there, but it means that you're not homeless.
Yeah.
It's the most hopeful one.
Yeah.
The problem is
it is the lesser of evil.
If you could take people out of it, it would be great. But people are people, and people suck.
Yeah.
That's why it doesn't work. It'd be lovely if it did.
I mean, there's some great track records of various countries in the EU that have really pushed a more socialist setup, and it's helped those countries.
Like Sweden and a few others have done really fucking
Denmark's
well for it.
another one where the universal basic income's a thing.
Even they rely on a capitalist
Oh yeah! Oh, absolutely.
Like this,
a capitalist framework, but there's socialism to a point where
there's a socialism level,
okay.
But you'll also end up with exactly what we have now, where you've got 6th, 7th, 8th generation doll bludger.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to take part in society, but wants everything from it.
Oh, definitely.
And they're the ones that breed like rabbits. You'll end up with idiocracy.
Unfortunately.
But you'll also find that when you look at most statistics, those people account for far less of the people utilizing social systems. They're just the worst part.
Yeah. And the weirdest part is the fact that so many of the higher income people rig the system for the government. Look at Centrelink. There's 2 separate Centrelinks. One for us people, and there's another one which just kind of hands out more money. Just you qualify for this. No, stop that.
A lot of that depends on who you get on the day to do what you want done. That's
definitely
where the issue falls, because it's all independent determination.
Yeah.
But I'm not even going to go into depth on.
Yeah, let's get off.
Let's move away.
Let's get off settling. We've all had our time there. Let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
So, Trump had his.
Hopefully, there'll be an asteroid that hits the world on the 12th of July, 2038, and we won't have to worry about another fucking thing after that.
I fucking hope so. I swear to God.
So, we said we'd have an update for people about the whole Trump thing, and yeah, he lived. He did his little interview. Did his speech at the RNC today. That's
fucking hours
yeah.
of it.
That's a 2-hour speech. Jesus fucking Christ. I will freely admit I have not watched it all. It is somewhat painful to watch.
Look, you got like 50 minutes into it, and all he'd really said was, "I have been shot."
Yeah. He has a 40-minute bit basically just going, I was shot, I survived, I should not have been here, but I live. It's just like,
nobody's been shot like me. I'm the best at getting shot.
I'm the best at dodging bullets. I'm like Neo, I am.
It's very like self-indulgent for that first 40 minutes. Although he does one thing that I think personally is quite in bad taste.
Yeah.
So we can confirm that yes, one person was shot. When we were discussing it on Sunday, we weren't sure if someone had actually been killed. But yes, one civilian did die. He was a firefighter, father of 2.
Yeah.
They got his helmet and his firefighter gear on stage with Trump when he was talking about it. And when he finished talking about it, he walked over to the thing and like lightly kissed the helmet. It's like, wow, you brought this out just to use this guy's recent death for clout.
Go fuck yourself. That is fucking diabolical.
It's like,
that's horrible.
I was almost thinking you were going to say, like, he said, this guy, he should have been like me. Get shot like me. The bullet comes, I dodge it, I turn my head, it misses. And I'm just so good.
Honestly, when Seth was telling me this in the preamble, I was like half expecting him to put the helmet on or something, because it's Trump. Yeah, like I was expecting, I'll just put this on. I am the man now.
No,
like,
he talks about how
crazy.
sad it was, that it's a big tragedy and the whatnot, and then he just walks over to it and then lightly kisses the helmet. And it's like, what the fuck, man?
Like,
alright, Trump, you can kiss my helmet.
fucking A. Like, Jesus Christ, I hate that man. But...
look, I've really been, I haven't made it through the whole speech. If there's any, look, I will finish it so that we can, if there's anything of relevance, we can talk about it next week. But like, it's so self-indulgent, exactly like we thought he was going to do. He's just, like I said, 40 minutes on, I got shot.
Yeah. It's a miracle I'm here.
Like, to me, and look, if this was someone I gave more of a crap about, it probably wouldn't seem weird, but it's, to me, when I was watching it, because this is the RNC, this is the big Republican convention, like, when he says stuff like, I should have died, I shouldn't have been here, all you hear from the crowd is, you should be here, you should be here, you should be here. It's creepy. It's really creepy.
Yeah. His following is very cult-like.
The biggest casualty of this entire fucking thing is Tenacious D.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that mess has been fucking horrible. Jesus
Have we gotten anything from Jack Black on that yet?
I don't think he's responded.
No,
yet.
it was
come out in support of Kyle
their managers and like their support that have come out and said like, no, we're distancing from this whole thing. But there hasn't been anything really said from either. I don't think.
Like, I will admit it was a bit early to make the joke, but if he had waited another couple of weeks, it would have been a funny ass joke. It would have been fine. But you know, comedy plus tragedy plus comedy equal. Oh, sorry, comedy tragedy
plus time.
I am good words.
But the problem is, they made the joke in Australia, and we're known for making very bad jokes very fucking early.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We are the dark humor.
Most Australians have a very much so, and most people in Australia would have found it funny because, or most people that would enjoy their music or the demographic they aim towards would have been like, okay, cool. Anyway, play the fucking song. It was much more the American audience where they had to go back to. Here, it was fucking funny. It's there that they had the fucking problem.
Oh, they had a hissy fit. Like, it was a poor taste joke, sure, but not worth cutting an entire contract.
No, but that was the whole thing. Like, pretty much, Jack Black had to cut off the snake's head to save the body.
Yeah, Like, I don't like how that worked. But as far as I'm aware, he's been radio silent.
Yeah, I just had a quick little bit of a Google around, and I can't
waiting
find
to see
anything.
where the blowback is going to fall, if there is any. Like, whether
Absolutely.
they killed it quick
Where the
enough that
chips
the
will
blowback
land.
is, okay, this happened, okay, it's dead now.
Yeah.
Because, like, the blowback of that is, like, how many Disney things has Jack Black voiced lately?
Yeah.
Not
That's
anything
what
good.
He's recently had...
His most recent project was Borderlands. He voices Claptrap.
Wasn't he
Bowser?
in Kung Fu Panda 4?
Oh, yeah. Although that's not reviewed well either.
I enjoyed it, but you could definitely tell they weren't putting their A game into it. This felt like a
But his last
direct-to-DVD
big one was
sequel.
Bowser.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair.
But,
So,
I mean...
that's the kind of work he's aiming for, and that kind of blowback will kill that quick.
Oh, fuck yeah.
At the same time,
I can understand why he's done it.
It feels egregious, though, given the fact that what's Jack Black known for? Yeah, okay, he's been in a lot of movies, but, like, he's Tenacious D.
Yeah.
And he's worked with Kyle for 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now it feels like Kyle said one thing that wasn't like, murder the Jews or something. And now Jack Black's just gone, radio silent, cut him out, cancel the tour, we're done. So it feels really dickish to be like, I'm going to cut this guy I've worked with for 30 years out of my life.
It is funny, like, all the memes that have come out of it, saying, like, well, apparently there is something that'll stop The Rock. Like, the band has broken up, the pick of destiny has passed.
Yeah.
Look, I think the big one's going to be whenever Jack Black eventually, and he's going to have to, there's no way he can continue his career without having to say something about this.
Yeah, he can't sweep this under the rug.
He might, but, like, I just don't think he can. I think it's too, like I said, the band Tenacious D is too irrevocably tied to Jack Black, even if he does other stuff.
Oh, definitely.
It's less Jack Black took some time out of his voice acting career to do Tenacious D, and more the other way around.
Yeah.
So, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Who knows?
Hopefully he has a response soon, because the longer he stays radio silent, the worse it's going to be.
The more he feels culpable with, get rid of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, last bit of big news, and this happened, like, hours ago.
Yeah, like, literally, I think 2.5 hours ago, our time.
We had, what is it, the software CloudStrike, which is the back-end software for millions of people and companies,
Globally.
basically fell over.
Yeah. They dropped the ball so hard that entire businesses, like, my day job was affected, a few other, like, so many other people were, all of their computers stuck in blue screen loop. Like, cannot get out of the boot loop. And this is not just, like, generic companies. This is entire news corps. Like, government agencies here in Australia are affected by this.
Banks, shopping centers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
All
at
the back
Bunnings.
end is screwed.
Terrible.
Horrible things. But yeah, no, like, I don't see this company surviving this. This is a global outage that's affecting multiple governments in a bad way. Like, thankfully, a lot of the emergency services have so many redundancies, they're not affected.
Yeah, at least emergency service in Australia basically went, we switched over to other system, and we're back up.
Yeah. So the 000
they fell back to their
also,
old system, which still runs on MS-DOS.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, they never get rid of that
Hey,
shit.
Woolworths had to go back to its old system of not using self-checkout and having to
Checkout.
pay people to stand at a checkout.
Which is even funnier, because I'm guaranteeing they would not have had enough staff to, like, fill the checkouts they have. Like, without a doubt.
Call back the old system. Call the staff.
And what did the staff?
Cancel.
All
Mopses-
leave.
What did the staff do? Go fuck yourself.
Oh, man, I would happily have done that if I still worked in retail. It's like, we needed to come in. Nah.
My day off.
Or
You
you
go fuck
can
yourself.
go and get fucked. There's your other option.
Tell you what, if you pay me 4 times my normal salary, I'll come in for half an hour. No, but that is still ongoing. Like, my work had to contact us out, like, via personal communication and just be like, hey, just keep trying, but we can't really do much, so good luck. Because it's a third party. There's nothing that anyone can do, like, at all.
Yeah, I don't know what effect it would have had at my work, because I'm not there. Hey!
Yeah. Lucky you. Alright, it was, thankfully, like, late in the afternoon. It was like 3 o'clock this hit. Before a weekend, so there's a bit of time for a lot of things to catch up, because governments don't work on the weekend, so there's plenty of time.
Well, let's face it.
Work, I say.
The biggest thing that got affected by this outage, Tab.
Yeah. The fact that this has done anything to the gambling industry means that I don't see these guys surviving for very long. Or at the very least, they're going to have so many clients just drop out on them.
Or they're going to be asking for, like, major discounts, or, like, you have to prove yourself now.
Yeah, like, they've come out saying that this isn't a cyber attack or a hack or anything. It is just a update that has caused a glitch, which causes a boot cycle.
Yes.
So it is entirely this company screwing up. Like, they dropped the ball. An outside force didn't do this. There's no way around it.
But the fact that
That's
you
gonna be
could
hard
knock
to come
over
back from.
so many businesses with one fail update.
Yeah, like, they weren't staggering this update across different platforms to make sure it functions or anything else. Like,
Have you
I'm
ever
concerned
worked for a
QA.
company that made an internal system that they didn't roll out way too fast?
Yeah, that's a good point. Nah, just bugger that. can't say I have. Oh, but there is one good thing about this week.
It's book week.
It's book week.
It's book week.
It was a really fun book, actually.
Yeah.
I finished it off and immediately went on to the second one.
It has won me over across the run of the book.
My favorite thing is when you were getting into it. Me and John Doe were already most of the way through. I was most of the way through the first one. John Doe was already most of the way through the second one. And we're after the post amble, essentially, where he's like, "I'm really enjoying this. I like the fact you can just log out," and both of us just went silent.
No, I knew he wasn't going to. None of these stories function that way. The thing I liked was that they kept remembering that it was a game.
Yeah.
Now, yes, by the end of this book, that's no longer the case. But I don't actually mind that because they took the time to get there.
Yeah,
My
there was
issue
a
It
nice
was just a
lead-up.
straight cut of, I'm in, okay, now I'm just an NPC.
Yeah.
They actually still had a lot of internal drama.
My
Of
problem
like
with
snap
the,
out and fall back in.
Yeah. My issue with the trapped in the role-playing game thing is people get trapped and then they just go native immediately. No one's
they really do.
continually trying to get out.
Yeah.
So the fact that they took this whole book, it's not until right near the end that he's like, no, I am here, I am this person. It's like, that's fine by me. You got there instead of just, he's there.
Yeah.
I really
absolutely.
like that, and I'm actually a lot more interested in reading the rest of this series now that I've read through this one and gone, oh, they actually had a good idea through the whole book to get to this endpoint.
Yeah.
The good thing with the
Side
the
note,
second
this
book
is
and-
Life Reset. That's the book we read last month.
Yes, we should
Yeah.
probably mention that. We'll go through the actual plot line in a second. But when you mention that he starts going native towards the end, that becomes its own problem later.
Oh,
and I
fantastic.
really like how they did that.
Yeah.
But the entire point being, the first chapter essentially is this guy getting fucked over by his previous guild. Every high-level official in that guild's like, you know what? Fuck this guy. Despite the fact he was the first person in this game to figure out how magic worked and then teach it to people. Yes, he made a lot of money doing so. Because he could teach it to people without them having to figure it out themselves. And he got these prime badges that gave him better experience and everything.
Well, they're the thing that lets him teach it to other people. That's what gave
Yeah.
him the ability to make so much money.
Yeah, so he's built a guild around the fact that he can teach these things, or people he knows have prime badges, and that kind of stuff. And the weasel of the first person he taught magic, essentially backstabs him to try and take those badges, because they change his race forcibly, which means the only way to fix this is to delete your character and start again.
But
And if he
it's not
deletes the
just
character,
that. It's not
the
just
prime
the
badges
choice to
move.
delete it. Everyone else who has had that happen to them has been unable to use that character for the disconnect from who they are to the
Yeah.
what the creature they're playing. So they've been forced
Forcibly
to.
discarded.
They didn't have a choice. It's just like, this character is gone. You can't play like this.
Yeah.
It just happens to
But
be
he's
that
one of the-
he's able to play a humanoid goblin. Like, there's still a goblin race, but it's still 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, move around roughly like a human. So it's enough of a connect that he can figure it out.
Because it's also brain connection as
Yeah,
well. Because most people in the game can only have 10%, but he's one of those people who connects about 40%. And there's one guy who got trapped in the game because there's precursors before him who had 100% sync. And like, oh shit, he has no logout. What do we do? And they had to force him to come out because his connection was just so true with it. But yeah, so he can do things that other people can't, which allows him to exist in that body.
And it's a good story. The build-up's good. I like the way he has to try and figure out, I'm a big fan of settlement games. So listening to him struggle about, like, what do I prioritize? How do I make this work? Like, it really worked for me.
The
What do I need? I need to
management-
keep pushing this off, but they keep asking for it. But I need to push it off because I need this to happen first.
At one point, he does what everyone does at the start of any like development game, where it's like, all right, we don't need housing. We need these other things first. We'll push the housing back. And it's only like the second book where he starts actually making housing.
Well, it's about 3/4 through this book where he realizes, oh wait, there's a massive mood debuff because nowhere has anyone anywhere to sleep.
Add the fact he just keeps finding game-breaking shit because he got thrown or spawned into the Badlands, essentially, where players don't go too often because there's high-level shit everywhere. And just ends up there and finds things that were meant to have been deleted, but the AI that runs it all couldn't get rid of it. So it's just like, you stay over there now. We'll lock you away.
At the same time, it, like, within the language of the book, it feels kind of, oh, really? You couldn't have fixed that and just deleted it? But at the same time, like, within the setting, it's kind of fun because it creates this, like, mythic background. Like, he finds a supposedly destroyed god. And it's like, oh, yeah, apparently in the mythos of the setting, there was this massive war that he was a part of, and they chained him beneath the earth. It's like, okay, really, if this was a real game, you'd have just been gone, oh, we're just gonna, that's deleted. Yeah. But the idea that it's done with this, like, insanely powerful generative AI that had to be like, well, the only way I can delete this by having a holy war.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Annihilator. Great
also,
god.
the main villain, the bloke who stabs him in the back at the start. I can't remember if it's in the first book because I've just finished the 4th book. I don't know exactly how far it is, but it cuts to him every now and again. And the struggle he's having with, like, I'm no longer a player, now I'm just a manager. I'm like, it'd be good to bring back just to deal with all of this again. It's like he was dealing with it before. Now you're really
they
dealing with the
back to
repercussions
him.
of.
Yeah, they cut back to him at the end of the first book as a bit of like a background thing because he realizes he hasn't got the Prime badges. And they were relying on that to keep bringing people to the guild so they could keep their spot as number 1. And they're like, all right, we don't have that. Our plan has failed. And he's having a hissy fit. Like, first chapter of the second book is essentially one of his scouting party stumbles across him. It's like, oh, we found him! And they're, preparing for that. But, great series. I'm quite enjoying it. And it has a definitive end.
Yeah.
Which I
we got
like.
6 books total.
And all you have to do is get to, I think it's like boss level 4.
4 to be able to theoretically be pulled out.
Pull him out.
I'm going to assume complications are going to happen.
Oh,
like,
definitely.
it's too clean to be like, get to level 4 and we're done.
Although
I'm
that
at book
fucking
4
like,
and I know what happens, and it's hard to not say it.
Yeah.
But
that lawyer probably fuck him further. Those lawyers were fucking brutal.
Oh yeah, but that also gets like mentioned because other people find out about it and say, no, that was done under duress. None of that holds. And
that was exactly what I was thinking when I was listening to that section. It's like, you're giving asynchronous information and he's in an incredibly brutal setup. No fucking way any of these held up.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So that all gets changed very quickly. Well,
I'm imagining.
in
so
a much
I'm waiting
later
for that
book.
to be at the end of this book.
Things, there's some big changes after book 3. End of book 3, everything goes, all of this stuff,
Nice.
All right.
I'm looking forward to that, to be honest. It's going to be interesting. Cause,
I just finished book 4 and I've already bought 5 and 6. And
fair.
Yeah.
Nice.
Look, if this series can stick the landing, then I think I will have a new favorite series.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
The fact that it's a finite series, it's not just
Yeah.
Yes.
when's the next one coming.
As much as
As much as
I think we'll probably
about to say the exact same thing.
thing.
Yeah. As much as I love He Who Fights with Monsters, I kind of want an ending of some kind. I don't want it to end up like the Dresden Files, where the power creep gets so high that you can't associate with the character anymore.
Yeah.
Or you end up hating the character because they're just too far gone.
There's so many other series out there, like Defiance of the Fall starts out of one bloke who's trapped at the island on an island when the system comes in, and now he's fighting intergalactic monsters. Primal Hunter is a really good series, but again, the main character becomes less and less associated with his home planet as his power grows, and he's like, okay, what scale does he have to fight on now? But there's a whole heap of them out that are like that, but
I've seen some books do pretty good with that, but like even the best one, like I'd probably say the best book I've read that does the insane power creep thing was lost
that is a weird
International.
title, but
because the first book starts with, and if he doesn't stop this, the entire world dies.
Look, the first boss in that book series was an eldritch god. Like, there's not much higher up you can go from there.
But what they did is they tried to make the subsequent books more personal about the character and less about the world.
Yeah.
And
which works.
that was
It
a
works
good
surprisingly
call
well.
to be able to be like, oh, the power keeps going up, but like the story doesn't get bigger; it gets smaller.
Yeah,
but
which is good
even
because-
that's got a limit on it. I don't think they've got that many books where they can keep using Pitt.
Yeah, I'm surprised they keep going back because there's other characters they can switch.
Well, they
to.
have
It's
switched to
interesting
three other characters for some of the novels. They've done the werewolf guy. They've done Frank's, and they did Pitt's wife.
Fucking love Franks.
Oh, Franks
is
is the best.
great. Agent Franks is amazing.
I mean, that's a series. One of these days, we're going to have to just, smack John Doe over the
Deep
head
dive.
with and be like, "You're going to need to read this."
We'll just deep dive into that at some point. It'll be great.
But
Actually, when we eventually finish this series, which I'm guaranteeing we're all going to,
probably, yeah.
we may have to revisit it as a deep dive because it's a definitive endpoint.
Yeah. It would be nice to
And
talk about one of
overarching-
these.
yeah, we may have to do it on a week that isn't book week.
Yeah.
Yes, guaranteed.
But I do believe John Doe has this month's book.
Yes.
I do. I've
What
got the
horrors are you
blurb
inflicting
right in front of
us?
me. So this is it's an omnibus. So it's 3 books in one.
I like
And
it.
it's
the value.
it's a Middle Falls Time Travel Omnibus. There are a lot more books in the series. I think it's like 14 or 15 books in the series. But each book is an overarching time travel story, but they're each one-shot stories. So they're all interactive within the universe, but it's only about this individual that's happened in this universe.
Okay. I like that.
Fun. What was it called?
Middle
it's-
Falls Time Travel by
Yeah.
Schwan Inamun.
Correct.
Middle Falls Time Travel Omnibus.
So each story has its own little blurb. So it contains 3 novel-length audiobooks in the Middle Falls Time Travel series. First book is The Unusual Second Life of Thomas Weaver. Second one is The Redemption of Michael Hollister. And the third is The Death and Life of Dominic Davidna. There's a blurb for each one. Yeah, I'll go through each
21
one.
hours.
Fuck
That's
it.
going to be a good one.
Well, it's a
21
three-book
hours, yeah.
omnibus.
Well, that's 7 hours per book, roughly.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
First book, Unusual Second Life of Thomas Weaver. Thomas Weaver, haunted by a teenage tragedy, lived a wasted life. He closed his eyes for what he believed was the last time in 2016, but opened them again in his teenage bedroom and body in 1976. Now a middle-aged man in his teenage body, he sets out to fix everything he did wrong in his first life. A budding serial killer in homeroom, a possible new romance, and high school algebra complicate his plans. So it's
Okay,
that
I'm
thought of
kind
like,
of in for
if I could go back in life,
Yeah.
knowing what I know now,
Yeah.
what I do.
That sounds fun.
The next one, Redemption of Michael Hollister. Convicted of murder and nothing left to live for, Michael commits suicide in his jail cell in 1977, then opens his eyes in 1966 in his 8-year-old body, all memories of his previous life intact. His first thoughts are the dark intentions of his father. When the man who raised him once again tries to do the unthinkable, Michael has a chance to right his childhood's greatest wrongs. But can he do that without becoming a killer all over again? So it's more like redemption arc. Am I going to change my life from what it was? Because then it doesn't matter what you knew, things are different. That's cool. And the last one, The Death and Life of Dominic Davidna. How many lives would you spend to find your beloved? Dominic Davidna was murdered, then things got worse. Instead of going on to the afterlife, Dominic found himself back in the 9-year-old body, all memories of his previous life intact. All he can think about is Emily, the love of his life, left behind when he died. Unfortunately, she is now thousands of miles away. How can Dominic find his way back to the woman he loves, and what will he say if he finds her? And then there's extra notes from the author at the end of it. So
you sound
it's
fun.
Thrown back, knowing what I know now, and shit, how do I change things? Like, do I do the same thing or do I do something different?
Yeah, that reminds me of an interesting anime that had, like, that first one you read out, like the budding serial killer and that kind of thing. There's an anime, I can't remember the name of, I'll have to find it and send it to you guys. But it's the same kind of idea. This guy just wakes up in his, like, childhood body, and this girl went missing. He's like, oh, fuck, like, she was my friend. I have to find out who did it. It's really fun. I have to find that one again. But this book sounds interesting.
Just a very different change from the Lit RPG. It could be absolute trash, and you get to the half through the first one and say, no, this is no.
I mean, like,
look, I got through The Last Hacker. I will get through these books.
You got through Catch-22. Well, you did, Swoosh. Seth, not so much.
Look, I'm pretty sure I was so close on that one. I almost gave up. Mostly because I was getting very confused about what reality was when I listened to it.
Is this a fever dream? Catch-22 is the only book I listen to at double speed just to get through it.
Although, like, reading these 3 blurbs, I'm like, how much are these going to cross over? Because you've got the first one, and he's like, there's a serial killer, and then the second one's about a guy who's trying to not become a killer, and then, there's new romance. Third book, a dude looking for his estranged love. It's like, are these going to, build on each other?
Well, that's why, they're individual stories within an overarching universe. So I don't know how much they'll actually interact. Like, one might be mentioned in another book or an event that was mentioned, but overall, I don't think you're going to see one character talk to another.
I don't necessarily think that, but it's more just like there seems to be some plot point bleed over. I don't know if they're actually going to, but just reading the blurb, it's like,
I would really like it if they cross paths in the same way the characters in Snatch and Lockstock cross paths, where they never completely interact.
Yeah.
But they do affect each other's stories in some way.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Because, they're fun.
Yes, no, definitely an interesting choice. A bit different to what we normally read.
And we do like different.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's face it, it's the whole point of doing this was to... We all look at different
just stick
books,
in one genre.
Yeah.
It's not like we've just read a whole lot of Lit RPG for most of this book club.
There's just me in the background going, Lit RPG. I'm just that gremlin in the background yelling the same thing over and over again.
Well, I mean, I've got the horror book for this year, so...
Oh, nice. Pre-planning. I like it.
Well, it's the book I was going to do last year before Stephen Fry decided to butter our ears.
Oh, God, that was a good book.
Anyway.
So, Middle Falls Time Travel Omnibus.
Books 1 through 3. That's what we're doing this month.
Yeah.
Gonna enjoy that.
And we're out past now, so I think we'll wrap things up right now. So, y'all have a good one.
Bye.
See ya.